It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast. Let's talk about it every morning at 8:30 a.m. and also on Wednesday it's the midweek service at 6:30 p.m. You can also join our Facebook group on Facebook Podcast with the most. We got Tony Mays and Lavelle Salter. It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast. Let's talk about
it. Come on.
What it do, my good people. Sorry about the late end. We were having some technical difficulties with our audio, and I don't know if we're still having it now.
It ain't as bad.
I don't hear it at all, Lavelle. So it must be your ear, because I'm listening to it on the phone. I don't hear it. Good morning, Queen. Yeah, we apologize. With Lavelle said I sounded like a robot. So I don't know. I don't hear it. No, bro. I'm listening to it on my phone, and I'm not sounding like a robot.
Well, it don't sound like it now. It sounded like it earlier. It don't stop now for whatever reason. Yeah. No,
I'm through with you. I'm through with you, bro.
I should have let your ass do it. Then stanky boot ass. Man, why you didn't say nothing? You know.
Man, look. We in it to win it now, my guy. We in it to win it. It is what it is. So we even took 5 minutes trying to log in and get stuff straight. So we're gonna jump right on into the topic today because we've been kind of talking about this without talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like everything we've been showing, like the video, even like last night on the midweek service, I played a video where this guy and this woman were in a relationship, and she was pregnant. Where they've been dealing with each other for 8 years, about 8 years off and on, and she knew she was pregnant before she got back with him this time and moved in with him, and had him thinking first the baby was his, knowing that the baby wasn't his. And after they was arguing, going back and forth, this older lady came in and said, "Look, I'm sick of y'all. Y'all going back and forth. 1 minute y'all together, 1 minute." So they have a very toxic relationship, And so I wanted to kind of address the toxicity in relationships this morning. So my question is, how do people navigate through toxic relationships? What are some coping mechanisms and escape strategies for people who are in toxic relationships? Because
I guess my question is because there is a responsible party, and is both parties toxic that made the relationship toxic? Is it somebody that's individually that's toxic, that's not being being held accountable for their toxicity, if you will?
we definitely had to have a part two for you to this one, because this covers a multitude of relational type of issues, and so I don't know, because it seems like toxic people attract toxic people.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna say that everybody that's in a relationship with someone toxic, that the other person is toxic as well, because there are some people. Monica was watching a movie the other day where this woman was with this guy, but she started dating this guy, and soon as she started, it was one of them Tubi movies, and soon as she started dating the guy, I don't know what the name of the movie is. If she's on here, she could probably tell us. Good morning, Azon. I don't know what the name of the movie is, but as soon as she basically got with him, moved in with him, he went crazy. She tried to leave, go hang out with her family. He blocked all the doors to the house with chairs and furniture so she can't get out the house. And you know, he started hitting her, slapping her, and just doing all kinds of stuff, man. And so, in the very end of the movie, her brother was who was played by Bow Wow in this movie, and he kind of knew something was going on with the dude. I don't know the whole gist of the movie 'cause I ain't watched. I seen the first part of it where he was kind of slapping around, and then the Monkey could probably tell us the name of that movie. She said sometimes toxic people prey on non-toxic folk. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I don't want to say everybody that's party to the relationship is toxic because in this particular relationship, the dude was crazy, but yeah, he was beyond toxic. He was crazy.
Raw.
Movie Raw Daylight. Yeah. I guess you're saying that's the name of the movie.
Right.
But in the end, he had her in this house, abandoned house, or whatever it was, and Bow Wow, some of his partner was coming up. Bow Wow had a gun, and Bow Wow bust in on him. Man, dude had a knife. Dude just started stabbing her with the knife in her shoulder and her back, just crazy, bro. And Bow Wow finally shot and killed him. But it was crazy, So again, I don't want to say everybody in the relationship, both parties were toxic. She didn't recognize the toxic signs or them what we call them red flags.
Right.
She didn't recognize the red flags. She just literally jumped in there and went to work and with this guy, and it just didn't turn out the best for her. Good morning, Linda. Good morning. So let's kind of talk about these toxic relationships because how do people navigate through toxic relationships and what are some coping mechanisms? And it's sad, but you got to have an escape plan.
You do. You have to do
I
it.
mean, if the relationship is to the point like this lady's was, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the relationship is to that point where it's abusive and he's beating you, and I say abuse, I'm talking about mentally, physically, and verbally.
Hmm.
And if it's to that point, now again, some toxic people attract toxic people, and they just both toxic, and they love each other toxic self to death. Like they'll fight you if you try to intervene. If you try to intervene on they toxic behavior, them folk will fight you, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly, Exxon. Some people like that stuff. So, um, let me. I just want to. I'm gonna run through some of these things to navigate through a toxic relationship. Individuals can prioritize self care, establish firm boundaries, seek support from loved ones or therapists, carefully plan an exit strategy. You got to be carefully planned. You can't let your left hand know what your right hand doing.
Yeah.
Definitely pray, Queen, for sure. Contact the domestic violence hotline to access safety resources and further guidance. So, and I think if you're in one of those relationships like I just talked about, and when you're trying to carefully plan an exit strategy, sometimes them toxic people they be watching everything you do. So I really think at some point you definitely gotta in that carefully planning that exit strategy, you have to be able to reach out to some kind of somebody that's gonna help you in your getaway strategy, and then you got some resources because if sometimes you can get out of your situation and go stay with a loved one, but sometimes you can't always go stay with a loved one because what if this person move you to a whole nother city where there ain't no loved ones, ain't no friends,
Yeah. Yeah.
then what do? Right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess my
Monica
thing
says she.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I said Monica says she accepted his toxic behavior for the sake of having what she wanted, a family.
Yeah. I guess my thing, Tony, and I've known some individuals in relationships like that. It's some people I know in relationship like this now. And I guess my thing, like you just said earlier, and it's like Monica said, the acceptance. But I know you see the red flag. Do you just want to just be in a relationship just for the sake of saying that you're in one, and be miserable? You know what I mean? So are you accepting the toxicity at this point?
Well, and I think some people are naive to a certain point, or just stupid. you know, um, I seen what's the one? I don't know if y'all saw the movie with Jennifer Lopez where she had actually her daddy was abusive. She was a police officer and she turned her daddy in because he was abusive to her mama. She arrested her daddy,
Hmm.
and but the mama stayed with the daddy and got with the daddy. They was renewing their vows and all that, and the daddy hadn't spoken to her in years for doing that. And um, but the mama accepted the abuse, and even her brother became abusive to his wife. And when she went and talked to her and some of the police buddies showed up because the police was called. And when she got it, the girl I was black, and she was saying, "Your brother, he a good man. He a good man." He didn't. She said he done doubted your eye. You know, you got a black eye. You should talking about he a good man. You know, and so yeah, Quita. I don't think it's all the time love scene. Sometimes I think it's the ideology, like Monica said, of having a family, of having somebody that you feel like loves you, and then they telling you, the reason I did that because I love you, and then you just so infatuated with them to the point where you think like that abuse is because I mean you've often shared the story about your auntie Lavelle and how your auntie's husband killed your grandfather,
Hmm.
you know, because the relationship was overly toxic,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and so when we talk about these toxic relationships, bro, especially if it gets to the point where it's toxically abusive, like it's abusive. It's like it ain't like just both of y'all just toxic and y'all just y'all love each other toxicity and y'all argue with each other all the time, fight, and then one next minute y'all loving on each other. And that's just y'all. Okay, that's a different category. Y'all just ignorant at this point.
One of,
But
one of my
it's a lot.
cousins, they've been in it. Like, he's supposed to get married here soon, but but boy, they don't got to fight with each other and went to jail and all kind of shit. I be like, y'all love each other too much, damn it. I ain't gonna say no names. I'm like
But
taking
that's
jail
crazy.
all the time. I ain't
That's
gonna say
that's
no names.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that you fighting each other. I'm talking about y'all battling. She slapping him, hitting him over the head. He hitting her. They rapping, fighting, tearing each other clothes off. Then the next minute, I love you. I love you too. We just got to stop our foolishness.
Okay, so let's say this then, and I'm not giving it a scapegoat, but a lot of the times it be disrespect, and I think sometimes the toxicity has is created.
The toxicity,
Yeah, I made that word up.
toxicity,
Toxicity,
toxicity.
but is it is it
My
is it
God, bro.
is it to the point to where is the toxic situation is created, so to speak, from disrespect, neglect. You know what I'm saying? Do it. Sometimes you have
What
a
you saying? What you trying to say? Like where did it derive from,
did
so to speak?
it become toxic? Was it toxic coming into the situation? You know what I mean?
Sometimes toxic people are toxic people. And toxic people, we always say familiar spirits recognize each other.
Right.
And sometimes you can see a woman that's toxic, or you walk up to a woman and you trying to meet her in the video, right? You trying to meet her, and uh she got a certain level of ratchetness right off the rip, and you like, damn, I like it though. You already know she got some toxic. You can see
Mhm.
how she talking, how she, but you jump right on in there and say, I'm gonna talk to you anyway because you like that, because you toxic.
Yeah. And sometimes when you look at the physical appearance, don't even think about, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
what this person is really about.
yeah. Marcus says, be careful with the advice you are giving others. Family members were advising her to stay because she didn't want to end up alone, and he was just being a man. What? and he privately beating her, and she's absolutely miserable and terrified in private. Uh, if a person, so let me just tell y'all this. Yeah, there you go, Queen, and so I ain't gonna put your business out there, Queen. I ain't gonna put your business out there. So anyway,
Okay.
be careful, be careful. Monica says, be careful about the advice you're giving others. Um, I'm gonna go and say, if a person is giving you advice to stay with somebody that they know is physically or mentally or verbally abusing you, that person ain't your family member or your friend.
Hmm.
If they saying just deal with it, he a man, and they know that this person is verbally, physically, and mentally abusing you, and you miserable, and I wouldn't even don't even take that kind of advice. Queen says, everybody has something about them that someone else may think, hell no, I would never, but the other person might like it. LOL, yep, I have a little toxicity in my blood. Rodney said, I saw a video this morning where the woman was explaining some women push his buttons on purpose to get a reaction out of him. They have a big thirst for drama. Yeah, yeah. Now,
What I was just saying.
yeah, but that's that thing what we just talked about, Lavelle, where that woman is toxic, and the man is really not that toxic, but he's willing to deal with a certain level of toxicity out of her. And so she want him to be on the same level she on. So she pushing every little button that she know that's gonna get him riled up. But that's a toxic relationship that neither one of them should be in. He definitely shouldn't be in. Because if I allow you to push the buttons, and I know that that's your goal, your objective, and you keep doing that, I'm the fool for sticking around in that relationship.
True that. Well, I had said something about I had made a post about folks who love attention, and it's actually a disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do with some of these people in relationships are attention whores.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just spoil, rotten. They're
Well, so Monica asked a good question. She said, "What if they are giving you advice but don't know you're being abused, and you take the advice for what it is?" So where does common sense come into play? Well, I mean, we always say sense ain't coming no more. I get it. We say, but
you said that, Frank. Just for attention.
if I am in a relationship with Monica May, and my sister is telling me Monica is very abusive mentally and verbally to me, but my sister don't really know that because she don't talk to me like that in front of nobody else. She didn't do it at the house. And I'm talking to my sister just trying to just, and my sister like, women, we just do blah, 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 blah. And at some point, I got it in my mind, I'm like, but this ain't no regular woman. This woman is, calling me, punks and bitches and hoes and, all this stuff. I ain't finna take the advice my sister giving me and apply it to my situation because it's not applicable. So we gotta have some common sense when people are giving advice. Some of these women are lying about abuse just for attention. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't saw that.
Wait now. That's why I said be careful with the advice you're giving. You may not know all the facts. Well, if you don't know all the facts, why are you giving advice? Bad example, babe. Well, I ain't gonna use nobody else. Physiological abuse is abuse that is looked over as well. Okay, long. You just looked that word up. I ain't gonna get into none of these none of these points, but that part, common sense, and honestly, it's a person's choice if they stay or go, no matter what someone else say. For real, folks gonna what they do, what they want to do for real, because only them two know the real story about each other. So is it worth it or not? You can only do as much, especially if the person grown. Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. If I don't know all the facts in your situation, how can I even give you advice on anything?
Yep.
If you come to me, Lavelle, and you telling me something, and you telling me a story, and I recognize you ain't telling me everything, Lavelle.
Yeah.
And you say, well, and you say I don't really want to get into it. And I say, well, this is the advice I'm gonna give you. How can I give you advice when I don't even really know what's truly going on, and you ain't giving me the full story?
Mm-hmm.
So for me to offer some advice in a situation where I don't even know what's going on, now if I know you and I know your behavior and I know your language, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I see something is not right, and I notice that when he or she is around you, it's oddly awkward. Like I know something ain't right in their relationship.
Yeah. Something else.
So at that point, I may come to you and say, "Hey, is everything okay with y'all and y'all relationship?"
Mm-hmm.
Now you can choose to say, "We good," or "Nah, I'm gonna tell you about it another day." That means I can't talk right now because he right over there. He watching everything. Or she watching everything I do. I
Yep.
mean, I gotta take some context clues. I gotta take some clues from what you're giving me too,
Mm-hmm.
to know that your body language is saying something is off. It's not right. But if you're struggling mentally, you tend to listen to the people you love and trust. Yeah, you listen to the people you love and trust, but how are you listening to somebody give you information and they don't know what's going on? How are they giving you advice on something and they don't even know what's going on?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of times when people are in a relationship like that, they're protecting themselves and they call themselves trying to protect the other party because they don't know what that person is going to do to them. And so that's the real detriment in those situations like that, because like you said, you got to have some kind of emergency getaway plan, so to speak.
Right. Exit strategy, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the times is and it's really sad to even have to be in a situation like that, to where you try to
Right.
protect yourself and protect the person that is really the not the victim, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Let me get to some of these. Okay. So one, you gotta recognize the signs, identify the behaviors that are toxic, and understand the impact they have on your well-being. So
Mm-hmm.
recognize the signs, identify the behaviors that are toxic, and understand the impact that they have on your well-being.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is you got to set some clear boundaries. Communicate your needs and expectations clearly, and enforce
Mm-hmm.
limits on unacceptable behavior.
Right.
Prioritize self-care. If you don't really care about yourself and how you present yourself, and there's no self-care, that can be signs too. So if I know Lavelle is a well-to-do dude, right? He always dressed apart. Then all of a sudden he get with a woman. All of a sudden he looking raunchy. He ain't shaved. He ain't, he ain't wearing same clothes 2 days in a row. So I'm like, dude, something ain't right. Something off.
Mm-hmm.
The self care that he used to have by himself is not there. So something is not right. What is going on, bro?
Right.
But you keep saying it happens, though, it can be unintentional. But how can you give any kind of advice on something you don't know? So I'm just sitting here talking to you. We ain't talking about nothing specific, and I just start giving you advice. That makes no sense. I got to know something about something for me to give you any kind of advice on anything.
Right.
So I can't just you just sitting here talking to Deville, and I'm just talking and say, "Hey, Deville, you need to just do blah blah." And I don't know what's going on, nothing, no direction. Just hey, you just. So how can they give you unintentional bad advice if they don't know anything that's going on? Because you just said earlier, they don't know that this person is physically abused. So how they giving you advice? Because they don't. What they giving you advice on? Just random advice.
Hmm.
You gotta make that make sense for me, babe. I'm sorry. Prioritize self care. Focus on your physical and emotional well being through healthy habits like exercise, good nutrition, and relaxation techniques. Now, this is in just a normal toxic relationship. Yeah, this ain't the one where this dude gonna kill you if you leave out the house, or she gonna stab you in your sleep and pour hot grits on you because you talking. Not them kind of relationship. Because talking about recognize the signs and set clear, you beyond that. This nobody kill you. You beyond that. So you got to go straight to the plan, the extra exit strategy. Um, okay, this is kind of what Monica was alluding to. Talk to trusted people. Confide in close friends or family members who can offer support and perspective. But that's only if they know about your situation. Now if they know about you. You done told them, look, he physically abusing me. He beat me when nobody's around. Hit me on places where you can't see my. He beat me on my chest, my arm, my legs, and then now where you see that's why I wear long sleeve covering it up.
Hmm.
Then you get some advice. Say, hey, we need to figure out how to get you out of that situation. What's his schedule like? What he do? What's his? That's when you planning your exit strategy. Carefully planning your exit strategy, and somebody's helping you trying to plan. Seek professional help. Consider therapy to understand the dynamics of the relationship and develop coping mechanisms. And again, I think these are things that relate to just you just being in a toxic relationship where y'all just be arguing all the time. Y'all argue with each other, y'all, and you trying to figure out like why we argue so much with each other. Why we so toxic? Let's go get some help. Let's go to a therapist because it could be something that's driving from his upbringing or something from your upbringing. There could be triggers, things that's driving that toxicity in your relationship.
Bro, that's what I was just getting ready to say. You said everything I was going to say. And I think it's a problem, man. I had told my mom and my dad, man, a couple of months back, when my dad lost his wife, my mom. I mean, he pretty much got married like 5 years after my mom passed, and my stepmom, I call her mom, had been in an abusive relationship, and so 5 years sound like a long time, but a lot of time, and what I told with them, I said, you got broken people marrying broken people. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't get some help in the process of while you're going through your brokenness, you take their brokenness on into their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, it's very detrimental to the relationship that if you don't get any type of help before, that's why a lot of folks say, man, get your stuff together before you try to go and get with somebody and you ain't got your stuff together. And not just talking about
Right.
no money, but holistically, mentally, spiritually, the whole 9 yards. And,
Right.
I even had a conversation with Don some years back, just uh, telling her thank you for dealing with me, and I apologize for over expecting out of you and not working on myself. I think
Right.
sometimes
Right.
we over expect out of people what we think they ought to be or what we think they ought to do, and they're not capable of being that or doing that.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
The expectations are unreal. We set some unreal expectations. We talk about that all the time. People setting unreal expectations.
mhm.
Or we have this fallacy or this perfect person in our head of who we want our wife or our spouse or our husband to be, and when they don't line up with who that person is in my mind, then it's a problem, it's an issue, and that's what a lot of people do. It's like what they do is they build a perfect person in their mind, and then they go out there and look for that somebody to be that person,
Mhm. Yeah, it don't
and
work
and
like
you can't. It don't work that way. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And
That's
so I think that's why
that's the part in the marriage vow that we miss. And even in relationships, it says, "And they shall become one."
Mhm.
You don't say they are one. You don't become one just because you made some vows. That
But
becoming is a continuous process. It ain't
process.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a process.
I'm married now. I got the dude, I got the man, I got the woman. Now, at first, especially if he's not involved and to be the better person that he was 2 or 3 years ago, like we always say. If you just stuck and ain't trying to evolve and be a better person, then that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a level of expectations that we set sometimes that are unrealistic. Um, we set the bar really really high. We create this person in our head of who I want my wife to be this nurturing, caring, loving woman that can cook. She got the coat bottle shape, man. She beautiful. She gonna take care of the kids. She gonna take care of the house. She gonna do this and do that and do that. And then we go out there and start looking for this woman, and we find the cute woman or the fine woman, but she can't cook, or she ain't nurturing. And we find, you know what I'm saying? And so what you do is, and I think in conversations, that's how sometimes we discount people right off the rip through conversations. Like if they don't say the right thing the first time, oh nah, you ain't for me. I played a video last night too, as well, where um, the guy asked a question. He said, "If a man doesn't have money, can he make you happy?" So he started off with two Caucasian women. He said, "If a man does not have money, can you still be happy with him?" And they said, yeah, by all means, yeah, sure. Soon as he got to all the black girls, hell no, you ain't got no money. How you make me happy? How do we equate happiness with money?
That's sad.
Bro, it was like, but they weren't just saying, no, it was hell no. She said, I ain't gonna make me happy. Ain't got no money. I'm like, what does that happiness have to do with the money?
Man, if the bill's getting paid, the lights on, you got some food in your refrigerator, the children straight, you got some money. You may not have no overage or no savings, but damn, that light bill was $5.
But the point is, what does the money have to do with your happiness?
That's a whole. There it is.
So I'm saying is, people have created these unrealistic dream mates. Now, can you find a man or woman that has all of these characteristics? That's all these things has it. Probably.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I would run because if you got,
there's no such thing as a perfect person. And all I'm trying to say is, what we're creating in our head, some of us, is a perfect person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking for a perfect person. And when they show us their imperfections, we gone. We out.
Right.
Monica said, I'm still talking about the advice that was given to the lady in the movie. Several family members advised her to stay without the facts. How I mean, I don't understand, how do they advise her to stay? So what information did she give them? She had to give them some information for them to say to stay.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have some facts. You don't give advice without no facts or not knowing nothing.
Right.
Several family members advised her to stay without facts. They didn't know something was wrong with him until he kidnapped and tried to kill her. In public, he was perfect and private, but still, she had to say something to them for them to say, "Girl, just stay." She had to tell them something. She had to allude something. It wasn't. She just through her regular conversation with them. They said, "Girl, just stay in your relationship." What?
Well, she just kind of said it. She said because he was perfect in private. I mean, in public, but he was different private. That's probably what they was saying. You know what I'm saying? Because of what they saw.
But what I'm saying, why? So I'm just gonna tell you, just stay in a relationship. I don't know nothing about nothing. Say, girl, just stay in that relationship. That don't make sense for me to give that advice. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense for me to just come out the blue and say, he a perfect dude. I see he perfect in person. I'm just looking at her and say, girl, stay in this relationship. He a good man.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what.
are you saying now maybe the way she's presented is wrong? Cause um maybe because sometimes what people do is they look at you and say, man, you got a good husband. You better not never leave him.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm assuming. So I'm gonna make the assumption that she's talking about like that kind of advice. Like where
Yeah.
they just see something, you know how you see somebody
I mean,
because people have often come up to me and said, "Man, you and Monk, I love y'all. Really, I got the perfect." But that's an assumption that they just made. They don't know me and Monk can be at the house scrapping, flat foot scrapping.
Nuck if you book.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make the assumption that my wife is talking about that type of advice where people are saying, "Ooh, he's just a good dude." He's just saying like the girl, don't you ever leave him. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming she's talking about that like that.
Right.
I think Real Housewives narrative has corrupted their minds. You talking about the show Real Housewives? I don't watch that mess, so I can't tell you what be going on with that mess. Folks can be going through stuff and only tell them what she wanted to tell them. Yep, true. You can only go about what you are told. So if only thing you talk about is negative, then leave them, and only talk about positive, then stay. Why would you go? Yep. Nope. Watch the movie. That's exactly what I'm saying. Damn. What? Oh, but we're gonna have an interview with you. So you anyway, it's time to clock that T, man. Cause this is gonna be a part two. I got a lot of more stuff to talk about. this
Right.
so this gonna be a part two. We're gonna part two this up tomorrow. Freestyle Friday. I
Good
can't.
morning.
Hold on, let me bring it back. Let me bring it back because we got to be together.
Good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down for a second. Put them fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know it's time to get into this tea. All right, so there's a young lady that has been missing since 2022. Her name is Naziah Harris. She should be this year 13 years old. But she went missing January the 9th, 2022. When she got off the bus, no one else has seen or heard from her. So the court cases and everything has been going viral lately, right? So allegedly, her supposedly uncle with his perverted ass was the last person to have talked to her. Now, this wasn't her blood uncle, this was her auntie's boyfriend. Y'all, that tells you, ladies, stop bringing anybody around your damn children. Stop it. It's some crazy ass people out here. Be mindful of who you bring around your kids, because this man was grooming this girl since she was 11 years old. Some might say the text messages the girl wanted it, but I'm not gonna believe it because this is a baby. And this old fathead is long nose. This dude is 41 years of age. Probably 42 now. Maybe. I don't know. But his ass is old. And you are missing with a child, right? So the text messages, I'm not gonna go too deep in them because again, this is a young lady, and respect for her family. I'm not gonna go too deep, but they were sending pictures back and forth to each other. He was asking her for pictures. She was like, "Dang, did you you ain't had a other one?" And he was like, "No, I don't have that picture no more." So, and while they were texting y'all, they were saying back and forth, they were going to delete the messages. Make sure you delete the messages. So he knew what he was doing with his
Yeah.
nasty ass. So he's also texted her and was like, "I'm at your house right now." So she was like, "Don't go in through my room, blase, blase." And he was like, he got her panties or something. Freak. So Jarvis his sister was in court crying, y'all. She feels like he did it because she stated that she seen the girl her last day getting off the bus, that everybody seen her. She seen the girl at his workshop. And she just, she felt like deep in her heart that he did it for real. So she revealed she was pregnant, y'all. And he basically tried to cut her off. Like, he wasn't trying to help. She was like, can you go get a plan B? Can you go do this? I'm nervous. I'm scared. Y'all, next thing you know, she was begging to see this man because he was acting like he didn't want to see her after she revealed that she could be pregnant because she missed her period. So finally they got interaction, and their last interaction was she was saying she was going to meet him when she got off the bus, and she was never seen again. And she was like, text me back, okay, so I can make sure I delete these messages. So it's sad. The story is very sad. Moral of the story: watch your children. Don't let any and everybody be around your kids. Like, if you have any inkling about anybody, even if you don't, just be mindful, because these are babies and they need us to protect them. Hell, we had them, so we need to protect them. So I hope they find her sooner than later. I hope they find her alive, but they have found different articles of clothing and things like that, but they haven't found her body. And oh boy, I ain't saying nothing. So we're going to hope and pray that they do find this baby sooner than later. Y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Million Heads Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. sharp. And don't forget about midweek service on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. If you missing out. Do you hear me? Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
What's so much stuff going on in the world? It's crazy.
I mean, another form of toxicity where you got a aunt, a cousin, or whoever the lady was, is bringing this man around her family, around her young family, and that's sad, bro.
Yeah.
That's based on the information she gave me. Do I think he did? Hell yeah. Because the key to that whole thing was when that girl said, I'm pregnant, 13, I'm 14, she pregnant. He lost it. He lost it.
Yeah.
He lost it. But why would you have unprotected sex with a 13-year-old? Period.
Sick, man.
Yeah, it's some sick dudes. Like Rodney said, yeah, the show he was talking about the love.
Good morning.
Oh, I needed it.
He was talking about the Housewives show, the Real Housewives show.
Right.
I don't watch the Real Housewives because I know they had Real Housewives of here and there in Atlanta and this place and this place, and all of it seemed like a bunch of mess to me, so I ain't watch it.
The title of the show itself is an oxymoron and some bullshit because they ain't no Real Housewives here.
and half of them were, if I ain't mistaken, were ex-wives of players or people, or they weren't even parent wives.
Yeah.
So
no examples.
yeah. Anyway, all right. So I got to get out of here, man. But we're gonna have part 2 of this tomorrow. So our Freestyle Friday is gonna have the continuation of this topic from today, and then we'll go through, and then maybe I'll go and watch this movie tonight with my wife so I can really see what she's talking about, because she was adamant about telling her story. But I don't like I don't like them Tubi movies though. I don't like them black Tubi movies.
Because it's sometimes they stretch it out too much. It's like it don't even. Yeah.
But it'd be the same old storyline. Same
Tyler
over
Perry.
and over and over. It's the same kind of storyline over and over and over.
It's Tyler Perry movies without the fluff. That's all it is. They ain't got the
It's
production.
it's a Tyler Perry movie without Tyler Perry.
Sorry. They just ain't got the budget.
It's a Tyler Perry movie without Tyler Perry. Crazy.
I'm
All right,
sorry.
man. Come on, pray us out.
Man, Lord God, we thank you for just being God and being God all by yourself, man. Thank you for waking us up. Thank you for just being who you are in our lives. Continue to look out through us on this day. Thank you, God, for Tony family. Thank you for my family. Thank you for Queen family. Thank you for every family that's represented. We actually continue to touch our efforts and what we're doing. And we actually do all these things in your daughter, son, Jesus' name. And we said amen.
Amen. Man, we'll see y'all in the morning, man. Same bad time.
Same, but I stand on it singing. Let's talk about it. I love you, mom. Thank you, boo, that little girl. Thank you, boo, little golden girl.
All right, man. We'll see y'all in the morning, man. 2 minute hats. Let's talk about it.
We are.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast. Let's talk about it every morning at 8:30 a.m. And also on Wednesday, it's the midweek service at 6:30 p.m. You can also join our Facebook group on Facebook podcast with the most. We got Tony Mays and Lavelle Salter. It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast. Let's talk about it.